Stinished It is recorded on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people listening.
We acknowledge the long history of storytelling undertaken on this land. Welcome back to Stinished It, the podcast where we chat about things that we've started, finished, and what we're looking forward to. I'm Jett, and I'm feeling pretty good this episode. I've had a bit of a slowish morning, but very productive. I just made our first short form video for the internet, which I'm pretty proud of. So check that out on Instagram.
Video for
Stop
the internet.
interrupting my intro, Reuben.
That?
Anyways, this is my co-host Reuben. Everyone, welcome,
Hey,
Reuben.
Thank you. Hello. I'm awkwardly craning around like a banister to see Jett. Why am I doing that? It's because we have a guest this episode. It's Charli. Say hi.
Hi.
Great, nailed it.
How are you doing today, Charli?
I'm pretty good. There's a bit of a drive here.
Oh, here we go.
Lots of
Traffic stories. Traffic story.
No,
traffic story.
No, it's not interesting traffic, just general.
That's the
traffic.
worst kind of
There
traffic.
was a road closed.
Which one?
I don't know. It was closed and I didn't turn down it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Generally.
I would like to just point out every time that we have brought up traffic on this podcast, it has gone badly and it has been not entertaining. So if we could
That
please
is a
refrain,
lie.
if we could just put out a blanket no traffic rule, I'd really appreciate that. That would
I'm
be
sorry,
really
this
good.
board of rules that we discovered the other day, it's only got those 3 rules on it.
I'm going to write a new one.
You can't write it. You're all the way over there in the corner.
That's true. But as soon as this podcast is over,
All right.
I'm
so
writing
this is
down...
the last podcast where traffic is acceptable, just to be clear. So what you're saying is I need to cram this podcast with as much traffic as possible?
That sounds like traffic.
Well,
Yeah.
there was lots of traffic yesterday too.
There was.
Because I went on a bit of a drive. That was a good time.
We came from the other side of the city yesterday, and it was painful.
What's the other side of the city?
Oh, New Zealand?
Oh, yeah, cool. That checks out. Yeah, I also drove yesterday and I was in traffic, but I'm not going to keep talking about that because who cares about traffic? Also, you're giving maybe 2-day-old news about traffic. Like, who's going to... Oh, yeah, real glad I know that random road was closed last
We're
week.
not live radio.
I'm just... Yeah.
Maybe you should be.
I'd say that the only acceptable time to talk about traffic is maybe if it's a news traffic thing over the radio, but also who listens to that? It just tells you on your Google Maps or whatever, hey, this road is red, which means it's going to be trafficy. That's the only...
That happened to me yesterday.
The road... No, I don't want to hear about how the line was red on your Google Maps. I hate... Oh, God.
It was plus 12 minutes. It was a bad one.
That's pretty bad. Was the road
Today was
Oh,
only
closed?
+5.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah.
No road closed. It's just big traffic.
This is
Everyone ready for like holiday season family talking about traffic? Oh, you got here, yeah, how have you been? Oh, wow, it was a bit busy on the roads. Yes, of course it was.
So
Everyone ready for that?
You're annoyed about that, but you're not annoyed about
That's
talking
not my
about...
traffic
You're not
news.
annoyed about talking about traffic
Nothing worse
on the
than other
podcast
people's traffic news.
where we talk about things that we've recently started, finished, and enjoyed. That's not...
That's never been a criteria.
Yes, it's always something that we enjoy. It is never
not
once...
true.
Charli, you've listened to a bunch of episodes. We've never once talked about something we haven't enjoyed, have we?
Traffic.
It's a good point. Also, Jack too. So, anyway.
You enjoyed it. Anyways, yeah, this podcast, we talk about things we've recently started and recently finished and things that are coming up and things that we're following up on previous episodes. I'm super happy to have a guest on this episode because it means I have to talk about one less thing.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm
good.
super happy to have a guest on this episode because it means Jett talks about one less thing. Anyway, it's time for our favourite new segment. You got a drink this week?
Yeah, I do have a drink this week. I have
Oh no.
Red Bull, the purple edition. Now this is the same Red Bull that I brought on the other, I don't know, a few episodes ago. Not the exact, it's one of the Red Bulls that I bought for PAX. For my very trusty helpers to drink if they got tired. But I have some left over. I think this is the last one. So what I did before this episode is I got this can of Red Bull. I can't open it, the can, live on air because I've already opened it because I had to put salt in there. So I've cracked it open. I grated some salt into it, and it did a weird fizz that I don't trust. But I haven't tried it yet.
You haven't tried it yet?
No, I'll try it right now. Oh, that's. Oh, it's real salty. I think I put a lot of salt in there.
Is this the first time salt has made a drink worse?
I don't know if it's made
Previously
it worse.
You've been like, oh?
Well, it tastes
Well,
like
it looked like it.
It tastes like you drunk a bit of Red Bull and then you put some salt on your tongue.
I feel... Yeah,
No?
so worse.
Nah, well, salt's pretty good.
I feel like they missed an opportunity here to call this drink Purple Bull, but instead you said it's Red Bull, the purple
edition, sugar-free acai flavor. How do you pronounce that? Is that it's the A with the acai.
Great.
Okay.
So
excellent.
glad that we have Charli here because I was not going to know the answer to that one. Why do our guests always give us like health food tips?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got something against acai?
No, it's just nah. Everyone's like acai. I'm like nah.
Nah.
Not a fan?
Generally not a fan of things that other people are a fan of.
Oh, you're gonna hate this podcast. Once again, this is only us talking about things that we're a fan of.
I don't know where this has come from, and I feel trapped.
I feel like there's no way that you don't like traffic with how much you talk about it, Reuben. I'm not bringing back the. Anyways, back to
I feel
something
like,
else.
So now that you've brought up traffic,
Who's doing our started it this week?
myself and Charli are doing a start of it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to start with you, Reuben, so that
Sure.
you
Yeah,
can get
we
into
can
the
do
flow of
that.
it?
All right, great.
What have you started?
The thing that I have started is Fire and Blood.
Just the concepts of fire. You bring a lot of things that are just noun and noun.
Name two others.
Songbirds and snakes.
Crap. Okay, I'm not doing well here.
Fire and ice.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I feel like that's basically Fire and Blood.
There was another one that you said the other week, but you brought all of the Game of Thrones, and all of those are this.
That's
and
what I'm
this.
saying. I'm saying other than Game of Thrones, what is
Songbirds
there?
and snakes.
And to be fair, you named Songbirds and Snakes.
Thank you.
So that's technically two things,
Yeah.
and you cleared my very low bar. That's on me. I set the bar too low.
Yeah, you did. But too bad for you. I'm real good at the limbo.
Anyway, Fire and Blood is more Game of Thrones. I'm doing more Game of Thrones. Have I watched the show yet? No. I'm going to wait as long as possible. This is a prequel history book.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, so you're familiar with the concept of prequels.
Yep.
And now what if instead of
So wait.
a story, it was more like 300 years of history crammed into a few hundred pages? That's like 6 months a page, you know?
I was recently reading about the war in a book about the war in the Middle East in the early 2000s. I call it a prequel history book to what's currently happening. What do you mean a prequel history book? That's just history. That's history, my guy.
So I realise now that I have failed to explain Fire and Blood. Let me start again. This is a book set in the world of Game of Thrones. So if anyone's familiar with like the Fantastic Beasts book or the Tales of Beetle the Bard, like they're written by the author, but they're pretended as if they're written by someone in the world.
Yeah.
This is that.
Okay.
So some old monk, some old maester has sat down and written this. I mean, George R. R. Martin has written this.
Okay.
Because Game of Thrones is not real. I don't know how to break this to you, but it's actually a pretend universe that doesn't exist.
Wait. Like, for real?
I know. It brought me such sadness.
I've
Honestly, I
known this
cried
for
for like a
years.
week when I found that out. I don't know why. Horrible place. No one would want to live there. But
They have dragons.
on the other hand.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
so many dragons in this book.
so is this? It's a history book. Why did you
Yeah.
say prequel history book?
I guess it's a bit of a
It's a history book
is
based in
oxymoron
the.
to say prequel history.
Redundant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's redundant.
Oxymoron would mean they
Is that
contradict.
They contradict.
Yeah.
What's the one where?
If you said like a future history book, that would be weird.
But there's one for when they're the same.
Contradiction.
No,
what
no,
Charli
yeah,
said.
no. Is it like when you say like a young
Bad
child?
explanation.
It's like it's. All right. We've had a few of those today.
A young child?
Like it's implied by the nature of the
Yeah,
the
so
first
one
thing.
of the words is redundant.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
redundant.
but there's a word for the pair of words.
Reuben,
Doesn't matter.
are you just trying to explain that you're bad at words? I think
Yes,
you should
but
be
there's a
made
good
redundant
word
from
for-
this podcast.
Okay. Honestly, I'm in real danger of that right now.
Yeah, you
I don't
are.
know how long I'm
However,
gonna be around for.
we are in negative money for this podcast,
So
and that's
far.
your fault. So you get no redundancy check.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't get any check ever, so no change there. I just don't have
No,
to do a
it's
bunch
checks,
of
not
unpaid
change.
work. What?
Checks, not change.
No change. Is that what I said?
Yeah. Tell us about fire and
Okay,
Fire
well,
and
basically,
ice?
Fire and blood.
Why do you do fire again? That's what I want to know.
Because dragons.
Yeah, but come up with a different thing.
Yeah.
Lava and ice.
You know what's funny about the main books, Song of Ice and Fire?
Water and ice.
No dragons in them. The dragons are like off with Daenerys barely having any like page time. Is that a thing? Barely having any page time. This one, so many dragons. Everyone's got a dragon. It's hectic. Arguably, too many dragons. I can't keep track.
Is this House of Dragon?
Yes. Yeah. So this is House of the Dragon.
Oh my god.
I should have opened with that. This is the book that the TV show House of the Dragon.
The prequel history TV
the prequel
show.
history show is based on. See, you know exactly what I mean now.
Hosted by David Attenborough.
Sure.
Walking around the
Damon
Westeros
Attenborough.
being like, now here you will see the dragon
In its natural
in
habitat.
its natural habitat. So you see it eating a head of its owner. Now this is what happens if you don't take care of dragons properly. So instead of this, what they've decided to do is murder
Kill
all
them
the
all.
dragons.
Literally though, that's what I mean. I haven't. Got
I
to
know.
that bit yet, but that's what happens.
I was David Attenborough. The
Yeah,
history.
oh, so sorry.
Sorry.
The persona of David Attenborough entered your body, and you just instantly knew so much.
I also
It was very
completely
impressive.
forgot that David Attenborough is British.
Yeah,
And
very
I
much.
just like halfway
distinctively
through
so.
tried to put in a British accent to whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Go. Tell us about the House of the Dragon.
Well, it's fascinating because he wrote these like 5 huge books, and everyone was like, "Gee, they're great," and I love the characters so much. They're just like quite long. I don't know why he can't write anything that's a bit shorter and more concise. And so he wrote this thing that is, considering the scale it covers, very concise, and it has interesting characters, but brushes through and past them in the interests of telling a historical narrative. And the consensus was, gee, I wish the characters got a bit more time to breathe. And it's like, oh my god, what do you even want, people? He's written 2 amazing things in completely different styles. What a masterful act of perspective and storytelling. And people are like, no, I do. People are idiots. It's great.
That's good.
No further comments, Your Honor. I rest my case.
So you've decided not to watch the Game of Thrones show for the next one. You also
Yet?
have decided not to watch House of the Dragon. Instead, you're still playing the I'm cooler than everyone else because I read the books card.
Maybe. I might watch House of the Dragon now, though, because why not?
Charlie, have you seen any of the Game of Thrones stuff?
Nope.
Neither have I.
I love how qualified we all are to talk about these TV shows that none of us have watched.
Isn't season 2 of
When
House
has
of the
that stopped
Dragon
us
out?
before? No, it's coming out, I think maybe not till 2025 because the strike delayed thing. There was a trailer. There's a trailer out. Maybe it has to be next year then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd have to be soon.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. None of us are going to watch it, apparently.
Doesn't matter.
So is this... What, are any of the characters crossover, or is it like you're descendants of the
It's-
characters, or...
So it starts 300 years before Game of Thrones.
I don't know how long people live in Game of Thrones.
Regular amounts of time.
All of them?
No. There's a million exceptions, but regular amounts of time. Most of them are humans.
Okay. Continue.
It's not... We can't get into it. We'll be here all day. This starts 300 years before, and this is like volume 1. There's going to be 2 Fire and Bloods.
There's going to be?
I mean, you know.
So...
He says he's writing it.
So there's
It's been 12 years or
Well,
whatever.
I was gonna say, when was this one written?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
2016. This is the most recent, like, chunky main Game of Thrones thing to come out.
what do you mean by chunky main Game of Thrones?
Like, not a little prequel novella or a TV show or a guidebook
But a
or
prequel history book.
Yeah, main chunky thing.
So...
I don't know why you guys can't grasp this. It's a simple concept. The prequel history book.
That's just a further, like, a prequel history book sounds like it's a prequel to a history book, which is just another history book of an earlier time period. So, I don't know what your...
So it starts 300 years before, and it runs up to like maybe 150. I haven't finished it. This is my start at it, but maybe 150 years before like main Game of Thrones starts. And I'm currently halfway through.
Wait, is the sequel of the prequel history book going to cover the next 150 years?
I think so. Yeah.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how close it will go. Like I don't know if it'll go right up to the last king who was in charge before Game of Thrones happened, but.
Well, if it's written by the same person, then they have to be older than 150 years old, which means that they live long.
No, they can just write a book in 2 parts when they're alive.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Well, okay. Do we hear about this person in main Game of Thrones?
Great question. I bet you they're in there as an Easter egg, but I don't remember coming across it because I didn't know what I was looking for yet. They'd be in there. Those books are full of stuff like that. But they're not like a significant character. They're kind of a less partial... Well, actually... Yeah, go on.
So this is written. It's a prequel history book written by a character for the intended audience of...
Oh, good question.
Anyone who's literate in the Game of Thrones universe,
and how many...
a fairly small group of people.
So you'd think that it'll be written for like a royalty or something.
It's written for basically it's a librarian writing a book for historians.
Okay.
Like you always hear about the maesters going off to the Citadel and reading about the kings of the past or whatever, and this is that.
Right. Okay.
And this person writing the thing therefore must be literate.
Yeah.
So who? No one? Someone?
Well, like they're
Obviously
writing it for their colleagues, and they're an academic, right? This is the closest they're like. This is
how much money are they making on
this
this
book? It's a prequel
book?
history PhD. You happy?
Yeah, but you only make prequels if they're going to make money.
But
Well, the one that's coming out in a few years, if it ever comes out, is going to be a prequel history PhD sequel. So
but if it's a PhD, is it written in academic language?
no, it's very approachable, which is what makes it readable. Otherwise, it would be just unbearable, I think, as an experience.
So I feel like he didn't go full. Like, surely, if he was going to make a prequel history book, he should make a prequel history.
He's
Like,
committed pretty hard.
Fantastic Beasts is... I've never
Boring
read it,
and bad.
but I assume it's like an actual...
To be fair, I haven't
it's
read
meant
the
to be a
book.
textbook that the kids
Yeah.
of Hogwarts
Yeah,
read
yeah.
about all the beasts. Why not do... Yeah. Why
No,
not
to
have
be,
a...
I've been
want a-
unfair.
I want a
The
bibliography.
language is a little more boring than I initially described it. Are you happy? Is that what you want? It is. Like, it's written, like, the chapters all have, like, subheadings, and then there's all these, there's
Is there a
footnotes
bibliography?
And there's no bibliography because they didn't have them back then.
What do you mean they didn't have it back
What do
then?
you mean they're a thesaurus? I don't know. Maybe he used a dictionary too. That's a different, unrelated book.
I was thinking of an index. That's my bad. I'm in an index.
No, but there's footnotes and there's like, the way that history books are written is not like a narrative. They keep like throwing forward and backward. Like as we would, as would manifest with his great grandson. Mm-hmm. And as a reader who doesn't know the story yet, you're like, interesting, like teaser, like that maintains the tension and the momentum of the story. But it still feels like a history book because you're like, oh yeah, everyone reading this book in the universe knows that guy got like either eaten by his dragon or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's also things about like,
Yep.
it's very, very subtle, and apparently it's very interesting to watch House of the Dragon afterwards and see how this is shifted. But there's things.
Is
in
House
there
of the
like,
Dragon a documentary?
Yeah.
Hosted by David Attenborough, yeah? Okay, cool, just checking. I haven't watched it. I think if it's a documentary hosted by David Attenborough, then I'd see it.
yeah.
So
And
what's
it's
it?
a history.
It's a
of
prequel history
prequel
documentary.
History documentary.
Yeah.
A prequel history documentary.
Yeah.
So is Game of Thrones... Also, you said it was a long time ago they didn't have bibliographies.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's a long time ago?
I mean, like, Game of Thrones is set in an alternate, like, medieval era.
Yeah, which doesn't mean it's a long time ago. It could be in the future.
Like, you know what? Yes. I guess it could be in the future.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Are we in the prequel history?
Maybe, when you think about it, maybe we are the prequel history.
No, because
Make
we
No,
have...
because then we'd know what was going
All
on.
right, geez,
And we'd
you
have
guys are so
bibliography.
sure.
I mean, we wouldn't have bibliography.
You know what? Great point. But this doesn't have a bibliography. If we're in Game of Thrones prequel
I
history,
think the author was lazy. I think George... Hot take, everyone.
Oh, yeah?
George R.R. Martin, lazy writer.
yeah. What's he done? Written 2.5 million words? Whatever.
Yep, and doesn't finish things. Lazy writer. Lazy writer.
I just want to read The Winds of Winter. I just want it to come out. Please, George, please. That's all I want.
Too bad.
He's like, all of these projects are of equal weight to me. That's why, like, the TV shows are just... I'm like, no, they're not. Because I haven't watched them. Just write the fucking book.
I don't give a shit, George R.R.
Just write the book. You've got 2 to go. You can't get this one done in, like, 12 years. Like,
Wait,
you're
so
not-
going back to the TV show for a
Sure,
second.
right, which I haven't watched. Yep.
Yeah.
The
It
one...
has a different name.
House
the
of the
prequel
Dragon,
history
yeah.
book?
Yes. But, like, to be fair, Game of Thrones has a different name to the book series, which is A Song of Ice
Why
and
is that
Fire,
to be
so-
fair? Why is that to be fair?
Hollywood change things all the time to make money. Yeah. What,
Yeah, that's
what do you want to do?
pretty-
Hold me
pretty solid.
accountable for that? Yeah.
No, I feel like you do it once, that's on them. You do it twice, you can't fool them again, you know?
In the words of George Bush.
In the words of George Bush, fool me once,
Shame on you.
Fool me twice,
You can't get fooled again. A thing that he said. Sorry, Charlie, you have no context. Sorry, listeners, also, but you're not in the room, so I'm slightly less sorry. It's a thing that he said. He just mucked it
Okay.
up, and he kept going through the phrase, and then just
you
stood
can't
there
get fooled again.
staring the journalists down. It's such a great clip. And I'm going to attempt to get out one more thought about this prequel history book, which is that there are some...
Who's the author? Like in the book.
I knew you were going to ask that at some point. I was really hoping you wouldn't. It's a maester from the Citadel whose name I have forgotten. Is that what you wanted?
A maester from... Which maester from what citadel?
The Citadel. It's a capital C. It's a place.
Okay, is it the citadel that's the same citadel
not
in Game of Thrones?
Yes. Which is
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, and the people from there, how long do they live?
Regular amount of time.
So, okay.
Please define.
Well, like...
How long?
Well, in
yeah.
Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
sometimes like 4 years, but some of them are like 95. So there's one king who got so old that the succession passed down to like his great grandson. Like not just, it was like when Queen Elizabeth died.
The
passed down
DVD
to-
box set
Yeah,
of Succession?
yeah.
Okay, he was like,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. Then he handed it down
Yeah.
to his children. They're like, cool, we're done watching. And then I handed it down to their children. They're done. And then, yeah.
Yeah,
got to
like The Crown, the DVD
and by
box set of
then,
The Crown.
they didn't have any DVD. They didn't have DVD players, so it's kind of
Yeah.
useless.
That would be like if when Queen Liz died, instead of Charles becoming king, it went to like, oh my god, does anyone know any of the little princes and princesses? No, he's the old one.
I
What's the
know
tiniest
someone
one?
who knows them.
What's the littlest baby called? What's
Beaumont.
Megan's baby called?
Beaumont.
Yeah, is that one of them?
Yeah.
It would be like if that one was Queen now.
Yeah.
Queen. Who is this? Whose kid
Queen
is this?
Beaumont.
Is it you making this up?
No, I've never made a thing of it.
Wait a second.
Cool.
It's great.
Did you have that thought that you wanted
No,
to
I
say?
haven't got it out yet.
Say it.
There's a bunch of perspectives that
Yeah.
are silenced in the world of Game of Thrones because, like, later, like, there's a king called Beagle the Blessed who burnt, like, a bunch of the books that talked about, like, sex and violence. And so they've lost some of those records in the world. And so there's this fascinating process where the author of the book in the world acknowledges that the history is incomplete. And so there's often times where they're like, we don't know who murdered this really important queen. Here's the options, and here's what I reckon, but it's all guesswork. And so the adaptation process to TV would have been fascinating because you have to make a choice because you're filming it. Or, yeah. Interesting. He's really good at perspective, George R.R. Martin, always has been. That's why I keep reading these books.
Yeah. Has lots of perspectives on how to be lazy about writing.
You know, he only writes on like one specific old typewriter that's like buried in his basement, and everyone's like, "That's why you can't
'Cause
get
he has
anything
to
done."
unbury
He's
it
always
each
like
time.
touring and doing movies and books and whatever, and it's like,
Comes back to his basement, grabs
Right
a
on the
shovel and
computer.
starts digging.
Yeah.
Every time he leaves, he has to like bury it again.
It's like 80. I need him to live for as long as it takes and write these books. He doesn't have forever.
Yeah, well, no one has forever. Charlie, you hit the microphone. How dare you?
Now you're a real part of the podcast. Anyway, who would I recommend it to?
Yeah.
Definitely don't start here. Because this is... I mean, it moves at a cracking pace. It's in some ways easier to read. But you won't have a reason to care about any of it.
Okay.
So don't start here. So this is for fans of Game of Thrones. And you need to also like history.
Okay.
It's for a very... I say very specific group of people. This probably sold like tens of millions of copies.
What if the people who have seen House of the Dragon...
Definitely read this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We'll do a swap.
How do you know?
How do I know? Because this is really good. And everyone says that that's really good. So why wouldn't you want more of the good? You know?
Well, if they've already experienced it, why would they
Yeah,
want
but
to
this
read
is
it in a
more
book?
detail, more. There's no way there's room for all of it. This is like sometimes there will be a paragraph that's like, and then 5 years passed and they built a bunch of roads and this one got sick and died and this one had 3 kids and it's like, there's a lot going on.
Cool. Do you regret starting it?
Absolutely not. I've literally paused halfway through because I'm up to the point where the big event called the Dance of Dragons starts, which is when I don't know exactly
They all
what
do
happens.
the jig?
Yeah, they all do a jig, a Kramer jig. Where the dragons all die somehow, because by the time Game of Thrones starts, there's none left. So I'm looking forward to that so much, but it's also the last chunky bit of main Game of Thrones that I haven't read. So I've stopped halfway, and it's just like an act of willpower how long I can save that for myself. Because then I've got only prequel novellas and TV shows left.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah.
Poor you.
I know.
You
It's a
only
real
get to
concern.
enjoy one of the world's best TV shows for 6 or so seasons.
I know. And then the world's worst TV show for 2 seasons. Oh,
That's
Fire and Blood.
That's Fire and Blood, everyone. Charlie, what have you started?
Okay, well, I've been tossing up between a few things.
Yes!
I was in the car on the way here in the traffic, which we're not allowed to talk about.
No,
right?
it's banned.
No, this
Okay.
is the last episode that we're allowed to talk about.
Okay, but the traffic bought me some time to think.
Good. See? Traffic.
So traffic.
What do you mean, see traffic?
I mean, I don't mean it's good, but
Traffic,
I mean
okay.
interesting things can arise from traffic.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking, do I do something like I've actually started, like something I've started doing, something I've started thinking about? I don't know.
I like it.
But I think that we're going to go with. I've started a not very good pyramid scheme.
Is it love or a pyramid scheme? Is it love or a pyramid scheme? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? I don't know.
Whoa! Whoa! This is the second period. Why is everyone... I feel like every guest on this podcast has brought in some sort of scheme to make money. Last time it was bike seats in concrete.
No, hold up. It's a bad pyramid scheme because it doesn't make any money.
Well, to be fair, we haven't checked in with our previous guest about whether or not that's any good.
Yeah, but
As
I
a
can tell you
pyramid
that mine
scheme.
makes no money.
Right.
What
Hit us.
Tell us about this pyramid scheme that you've got set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, I don't talk to people anymore. Like, I just, there are all these people, like, in my life, and I'm like, yeah, I know you, I see you, but then...
Now that's oxymoronic. You're currently on a podcast talking to 2 other people, but continue.
Okay, you have a point,
Thank you.
but I'm gonna keep talking anyway.
Good point.
So you see people, but then the thing that you were seeing the people ends, and then you, like, never see them again. So I've started, I don't know where I'm gonna start again.
Okay,
That's
go
okay.
for
I
it.
had to do that multiple times.
So actually, Reuben started this pyramid scheme.
Oh no, I'm being dobbed in. Tautology! When you use 2 words that mean the same thing. Anyway, carry on.
I'm really
You know what?
That
you
was
would've-
bugging me the whole time.
What you needed was a thesaurus to
The
figure it out.
bibliography-
No,
yeah.
a thesaurus.
Yes, because it would have had the antonym of oxymoron.
Exactly.
Please, continue with your start of it.
So Reuben started a pyramid scheme
Reuben.
Oh no.
that I'm now somewhat involved in.
I feel like you're running it. I haven't touched it.
Well, you
Can
started.
somebody please explain to me what this pyramid scheme is?
Yeah, but just be warned. Once you know,
You part
you're
of
in.
it now.
Is this the game? Because I just lost the game.
I just lost the game.
Yeah.
Everyone listening just lost the game.
So,
Not if you won the game. I think I won the game.
how do you win the game? This is not
You
what
just do. I did.
What do you mean you
Can
win
I
the
also
game?
win the game?
No, I won. I
Oh.
already won. You can't win now.
I didn't realize you could win
I
the
didn't realize you
game.
could win the game. This makes the game so much more rewarding. But also, I feel worse having someone else win next to me than I ever did just losing all the time.
Somebody please tell me what this pyramid scheme is. It's breaking my brain.
Well, Reuben called me one day, and we just like talked for an hour, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, I guess. Like we're talking, and I was like, hey, Reuben, why did you call me? Like, you know, normally people call and they have like a reason, like I'm calling you to talk about this thing. Reuben was like, I don't know, I just did. And I was like, okay.
Can I provide a more full explanation of why I rang you?
Go for it.
I missed you and I wanted to talk to you. And I had a spare hour to hang around in the park because I was waiting to meet Jett to go to a musical.
Who is this?
Oh, that is true. You were, yeah.
I remember.
So in a way, we can blame Stinished It for this pyramid scheme.
We
I
could
think it
just
must have
blame
been
Jett.
Legally Blonde. Do
Yeah,
you
you could
remember?
just
I don't
It was
know.
Legally
It was
Blonde
Legally Blonde.
because we were talking about Legally Blonde because I was in a
Because you were
production
in
of
Legally Blonde.
You were in Legally
Jett's whole
Blonde?
face just changed. For those listening at home, Jett has spent the past 20 minutes in like an angry, annoyed, not understanding anything that's being said because Reuben's talking crazy mood. And like their shoulders dropped, their chin rose, and their eyes lit up at the very mention.
What were you in Legally Blonde? What was it? What was this?
It was my high school production
High school-
of Legally Blonde.
And who did you
Yeah.
play?
I played 10 different characters in
Oh my God.
the show. Mostly like ensemble characters.
Yeah.
But I was the like nerdy one at the start that's like, here's how you get into Harvard. And
Nice.
then at the end, I was the one who turns out to be the murderer. What's her name? Chutney.
Oh,
Yeah, that
so
was-
cool.
That was me.
I love that.
And then I played about 8 other characters in between.
Amazing. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Who dies in Legally Blonde?
What?
What is the court case?
Yeah, I don't remember what the conference was
The
about.
daughter kills the
I got distracted
dad.
by Gail European. The daughter.
It was
that's a
during
good
that.
song.
It was just after that scene because it's a.
That's the whole thing. The fitness person is accused of killing her stepdad?
No, fiance.
Fiance. Yeah, but it was actually his daughter, Chutney, who killed him.
'Cause the
Probably
daughter-
for naming him Chutney. No.
Because Elle Woods proves it because she just said she got a perm that morning.
But
and
she
the-
said she was in the shower, so she couldn't have been in the shower. 'cause she had a perm.
Yeah, I remember the perm.
Jesus, talk about not understanding things. Maybe you need a prequel history book to find out.
Maybe I do.
So,
So anyway,
yeah, what's this? You've so far said that you were on a phone call at one point.
so we were on this vocal, and then I don't know. I was sitting underneath my like washing line, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I have nothing to do. I'm just gonna call someone. And then I was still on the phone to Reuben. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna call two
while on
people
the
now.
phone with you, Reuben, one of your primary thoughts were, I
Yeah,
should call someone
phone
else.
call's over.
Cannot wait to talk to someone else.
I choose to imagine that it was more like, wow, how great is a phone conversation like this? Can't wait to have another one when Reuben's busy.
Exactly.
Thank you. Phew. I was worried for a sec.
No, so then Reuben's like, okay, well, I gotta go. Like, we've got this show, whatever. And so I went and I was like, I'm gonna call some people. So I called 2 people because I figured, like, one phone call has to become 2. If it's gonna be a pyramid scheme, like, it has to be 2 people.
Oh.
So I called 2 people. Then the first call was, like, really short and boring. And I was like, okay, well, this was stupid. Why am I doing this to myself? And I was like, no, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to call the second person. So I called the second person and he didn't answer. And I was like, okay.
So we're off to a great start.
So it was a really good start.
So wait, is the current pyramid like one block stacked on top of 2 blocks and that's it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Technically it's a triangle, but...
Well, no, but see, then that person called me back. But,
Oh,
Yeah.
but I was having dinner, so I didn't answer the phone.
great.
We did end up having a 5-minute conversation that was just like, hey, how are you? And then they had to go, I think. I don't know. And it was a while ago. But since when I have an hour or whatever where I'm not doing anything, I like call someone. And I can't, but yeah.
I love that this is the like visually it's the widest pyramid imaginable because so far you have not successfully convinced anyone.
I have successfully convinced one person.
Okay, so this pyramid is one dot on top, then like 17 like next people that you called, and then like on the third level there's one person.
Well, they might have called other people. I don't know.
It's true.
They
We
were
don't know.
aboard.
We don't know.
But they can't disclose who they called. Like,
No.
that's not,
That
that's-
would be highly uncool.
That's not how it
No.
works.
Yeah.
But surely you've called other people since then.
I started it.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, then the layer.
I
There's
might do another one.
No, but you're the first layer, and then you have all the people you've called, and then I have
And
all the
there's-
people I've called, and then there's so that's like.
So it's their job to
three.
pass the call on.
No,
If
but
I do
it
another
keeps
one,
going.
I'm starting another one.
How many people have you called, Reuben?
One.
That's not true.
Two.
You've already.
But I also didn't get a response from the other person.
Was
So,
it just this one?
One.
No, but didn't
I'd
you say you
also-
were talking? You were talking to Ellie. No, you were talking to Jasmine.
Yeah, but I didn't tell Jasmine about the pyramid scheme.
You don't have to tell them about the pyramid scheme for it to be part of the pyramid.
Oh, I fundamentally misunderstood this pyramid scheme.
scheme. You started the pyramid scheme.
Well, accidentally.
We talked about this.
So, hold on. Wait.
So as I said, there's
Mine
no money
continue.
in the
My
pyramid.
brain's broken. Yeah.
There's no money in the
Yes,
pyramid.
there is. I figured out who's making money off this.
Oh, yeah?
Telstra. The phone companies.
Yeah, good point.
You're paying for the phone calls, and they're making the money. So every time you call someone, that's a little cha-ching, cha-ching change to them. So, congratulations. You're just paying for stuff. Your pyramid scheme is doing things and paying people to do them.
In the long grand tradition of pyramid schemes, we're losing a bunch of money and trying to offload that debt onto other people so they feel bad as well.
Success. That's what I
Best
say.
pyramid scheme ever by the rubric of pyramid schemes.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Hey, Jett.
Yeah.
Legally Blonde.
Oh,
See how much better everything is?
yeah, no, everything's
What if
fine.
you're spiraling? Just ask someone to say that to you.
Okay, excellent, we'll do.
I actually have some fun Legally Blonde stories.
Do you?
Yeah, it was actually a really
Do you want to
good
just like hard pivot into fun Legally Blonde? Just handbrake turn right now. You can't just drop that there and then leave it.
Nah.
Oh!
What are we
You
gonna
know
do?
what
Have to
do?
ring you?
Yeah, have to get on a phone call and keep that pyramid scheme up. Man. Okay, so is this pyramid scheme, is it fulfilling in any sort of way? Because so
Yeah.
far you said you called someone, it was 5 minutes, like a very short
No,
call.
okay, so I've established that I can't call people from a specific group of people that I know. It has to be like from other groups, like other aspects of my life. Like that particular group, just, it doesn't work.
Okay,
So-
okay. All right.
Yeah.
You know who I think this would really work on?
Who?
Like family and grandparents.
Oh.
Like too well though.
I
I can't respond to that because my parents will listen to this.
I feel like fundamentally you have to tell people that it is their duty to call at least two people. I mean, because maybe it's running wild out there, but maybe it's stalled. Like, do our generation do phone calls?
you have a-
I don't know.
Well, they don't. That's the point of the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, but
Do you have a pamphlet? You should.
We should do
We should do
You might have to text.
you were on
people if you
Canva
have-
literally yesterday. So
Was
you,
I?
yeah,
What was I doing?
you were showing me things that you'd done on Canva.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
So
do that. Yeah.
if you want to whip up a pamphlet,
I can.
the
look
pyramid
up it.
scheme.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send that through.
It'll be a very simple pamphlet. I called you. You have to call two people now, or you owe me money.
Just a picture of a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but then I ran into a problem because I called the same person twice. Like I called them and we spoke, and I then called them again a week later because it was successful, and I was like, "Oh, success! That's the way to go." And they answered, and they're like, "Charli, do you have no one else to call?"
Wow.
It's like, have you gone through
Ouch.
all of your contacts in a week?
No comment?
Yikes.
Ever since I seeded this, I have been waiting for an out-of-the-blue call by someone who either just calls me for no reason or calls me ostensibly for no reason and then tells me about a secret pyramid scheme. Like, I've been waiting for it to loop back around and to be lower in the pyramid. No one has rung me. Jett has rung me multiple times.
Yeah, but it's always for something.
But it's always for
specifically.
something.
I
Hey,
never ring
I
you.
need this.
I don't think I've even rung you.
No, but you know that, like, we're only one
Yeah, we can't-
connection apart. It would be weird to loop back around.
Wait,
That's right.
Is you coming on, Charlie? Is you coming on this podcast? Like, it seems like it's just a way for you to plug the pyramid.
If we wanted to plug the pyramid scheme, we could have been doing that a lot better, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, within the scheme itself.
Well, I think you can do it here. Give the audience a pitch for the pyramid scheme.
Who should start the pyramid scheme?
Who should start the pyramid scheme?
Everyone.
Lonely people who want to talk to their friends, but not their family. I don't know.
I don't know, it's your topic, you gotta answer the question.
Okay, who should start a pyramid scheme or this pyramid scheme?
This one's
This pyramid
Well, this
scheme.
one's already started, so no one.
But who should start participating in this pyramid scheme?
Yeah.
Well, I would say everyone, but then people that I don't want to call me will end up on the pyramid scheme and then they might call me and I don't want to talk to them. So, not everyone, just people that I like.
You start picking up the phone, seeing who it is. Pyramid, got it, bye.
I'll call 2 people now.
Gotta run. Already got 8 waiting.
Oh, I'm gonna stop making a list.
Okay. So anyone who you like should start the pyramid scheme.
Yes.
Is that like a self-identification thing? Like they have to determine
No.
whether or
They
not you
just,
want to talk to them?
they'll just like try and ring me, and
Oh,
if
if
I
you
don't
don't
want to
answer,
talk
you
to
don't
them,
want to talk to them.
So it's fine if they try. So excellent.
no, because just the call won't go through.
Yeah.
It just won't. Like they'll just like try and ring me, and then they'll just be like, oh, that didn't work. I guess I'll call someone else.
Cool. Okay. So everyone should at least try, because if they call you, it doesn't. Then you. Yeah. But like everyone should start this pyramid scheme of call 2
think so.
people at least.
Well, then everyone will be more connected, and I fixed the world.
Honestly, winning.
It
Yeah.
sounds like it. Do you regret starting this at all?
Why is that the new question? I hate this.
I did.
I like it.
I did regret it at the very start.
See, it gets interesting answers. Ask if someone regrets something.
Well, but I already said that, so you didn't have to ask the question.
Okay. So you don't regret it, I guess.
At this point, no.
Check in
Ask
a
me
week
when
when
I
this
get a phone
episode
call
goes
from
out.
When I start getting phone calls of why haven't you called me as part of this pyramid scheme,
Yeah, that's
then I
good.
might. Maybe I'll just regret bringing it up on the podcast.
We have had multiple conversations where we've been talking about the pyramid scheme in semi-disguised language, and someone's been like, "What's this?" And we've had to be like, "You'll find out.
Did you ever?
Hopefully, if
Did
no,
you
did
call?
you?
No. Okay, great. Maybe I'll make that phone call
maybe
on the way
you should
home.
do that today, yeah.
Great. Excellent.
Anyway,
So
expect
glad
the phone call in 2 hours, Jett.
I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Also, very interesting, Reuben, that you started a pyramid scheme that makes people call each other, and then it seems like very soon after,
I
got
waited.
fed up with it. It was like, screw it, I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb 90% of the
No
time.
one called me. I waited like 2 months.
Also,
Maybe no one called you because they wanted you to put your phone on Do Not Disturb so that they could have a reason to not call you again in the future.
Well, it's on, so call me, babes. Just start ringing in, everyone. Lines. I was gonna say lines are open. It's on Do Not Disturb if that's what you were waiting for some reason. Chat.
yeah.
Are you? What have you finished?
I'll tell you what I've finished. I have finished the book Daisy Jones and the Six.
Did we unravel a long time ago? Is there too much we don't want to know?
Does anybody know this book?
Me. I know this
You know
book.
it? Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like the famous 5. You know? Like,
It really does.
Secret 7, like Enid Blyton.
This is the one in between. This is the lost manuscript. Daisy Jones and the Six. They don't even have a group name. They're just named after the leader.
Reuben, tell me about Daisy Jones and the Six.
No,
What do
you
know?
always making me do this. It's a book about a band. It's a fiction book about a band.
Yeah, it's a fiction book about a band. It's
So they're not detectives.
no.
Not that we know about. Maybe they're
Have you-
really good
Wait,
detectives.
so you finished the book.
I've finished
So
this
you
book.
know that they're not detectives.
Yes, I.
That's what they want you to.
I know that they're not detectives.
We'll see.
It is a fiction book about Daisy Jones, who is a singer-songwriter, and the Six, which is a band. It is a how would you put it?
Prequel history book?
Prequel history book. Yep. It's written in like it is in the future, talking about the past, so a prequel history book, and how this band came to be.
Wait, it's in the future.
No, like
So
current.
it's a future prequel history.
It's in the current times.
Why'd you say future?
I don't know.
These things are hard to talk about, right? Who wrote it?
Who wrote it? That's a really good question. Can you stall for time while I Google it?
Stolen for time. Stolen for time. Stolen for time. You better have it ready because we're not doing that again.
I just typed in Stinished It. Into Google. I don't think that's silly.
Is there two authors or is there one author?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, like,
Is it an author
Is
and then
it
a character?
yeah, like, is it a biography written by a pretend character or is it just a fake biography written by the author? This stuff is hard to talk about.
It is written by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and so Taylor Jenkins Reid is the real life author of the
Well, we'll see.
biography.
Have you ever met them?
Does biography have to be one person? For some reason, I thought it had
guess
to be
not.
one person.
Just means writing about life, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay. Sure. So
I feel like I've never read a biography about multiple people though.
I guess.
'Cause that's a history book.
but in the story, it is written by a character, which you don't find out until the end.
There we go.
But on
How
the
long do they
Character
live
is
for?
a detective.
but it is
Ah.
technically they're detecting what happened in the. It doesn't matter. So
How long do they live for?
how long do they live for?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not dead yet.
How long since the events of the book is it being written? Like, is it like the band is long broken up, or just broken up?
No, long broken up because the band wasn't together for long. They were like the biggest band in the world. They were like the Beatles. If the Beatles had 6 people and then a lead singer.
So why don't I know about them?
Yeah. Oh,
Because
I
they're
feel like-
fictional.
Jet may have miscommunicated this in their explanation, but it's actually not real.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
So it's not like a Fantastic Beasts situation where it says that it's written by Newt Scamander. It it doesn't say Daisy Jones and the Six written by Newt Scamander.
I wish it did.
It
I would read that.
It's written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book, it's set in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Biggest band in the world. And it's about basically their rise to fame and their fall from fame. And it's all about being a rock star and the drugs and the sex and the anguish and not really anguish, but the trouble that comes from all of that and dealing with producers and dealing with fame as you rise up. So the Six were a band before they met Daisy Jones, and then Daisy Jones is sort of brought in by the record label to connect them because they think they'll work really well together or make good music, and they do make good music, but it's really clashes. Like the people within the band and Daisy Jones clash. And it's a really, really good story about addiction and love and fame. It's really fantastic.
And that is how you explain a book, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is written also in the form of like interviews. So as if the fictional author is interviewing the characters.
That's cool.
So you'll have kind of like a documentary style where you'll have interviews and then like interview clips from each person. So sometimes you'll might have different perspectives from different characters saying, yeah, this is what I said. And the other person's like, that's not what they said. Or like, yeah,
Perspective.
I came up with the name
Yeah.
of that song. And everyone's like, he didn't come up with the name of that song. Why is he saying he came up with the name of that song?
That's one of my favorite bits in Knives Out when they're doing the interviews and they cut straight from one being like, oh, no, like I built this business myself, and someone's like, he said what? Dad gave him that business. Always great.
Yes.
Great way to build tension and character dynamics really quickly.
So a lot of that, this is a lot of that, which is really, really cool. It mostly follows the main characters, which is Daisy Jones and the lead.
Six.
Yes. God damn it.
We already established this. This is old news. Can't wait for the murder mystery sequel, Daisy Jones and the Five.
So it follows Daisy
They'd be
Jones.
bad detectives if they
Yeah, I know. One of their own.
It follows Daisy Jones mostly, and then also Billy Dunn. So Billy Dunn, lead singer of the Six, and they rose to fame. And then he had a marriage. He got married to a woman while they were both pretty young, and then while going on tour, he got into like drugs and sex things, and like not with his wife, and then it becomes very tough, and he's in a very bad place, like doing a lot of drugs. The producers and the record label people like, how much should we step in here to stop him? Same with the other bandmates. One of the bandmates is his brother, so it's like, how much should I be keeping this guy in line? And he ends up getting clean, but then when this is all like most in the first half of the book, so I'm not really spoiling anything too much here, but when Daisy Jones comes in, she's a child of very well-off people who don't care too much about her, so she's going around Hollywood, getting into clubs while she's underage, wants to make something for herself, but very much carefree, that very 70s carefree, free love sort of thing. And she's real into all the, like, just not taking care of herself, doing drugs all the time, all the rock star stuff. So when she comes into the band, Billy Dunn's like, this is a person who I cannot be around because I am a recovering addict. And if I'm around this, then it's so much more likely that I'm going to relapse. And I have a kid, I have my wife who was already forgiven me for doing some bad stuff. So it's this really interesting tension that builds and then falls off a bit and then builds again about this relationship between Billy Dunn and Daisy Jones as they have to work together because they make damn good music together, but they don't like each other, or like Daisy doesn't understand why Billy doesn't like her, and Billy obviously does not want to be around her, but they're forced to have a relationship with each other, and also being that close and having to write love songs and things together also adds some extra layers to it. It was a really, really good book.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have multiple questions. Can I hit you with some questions?
Go for it.
It sounds like a music biopic, but not bad.
Yes.
Discuss.
Yeah, it does sound like a music biopic, but not bad, which it is. There's also a show of this.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
I was like, are they doing a movie? Because
They did a
this
show.
was quite popular, right?
I think Amazon made it. I haven't seen it.
Paying Jeff Bezos.
I'm not going to pay Jeff Bezos. Also, there's this song in the book called Honeycomb. It's this main big song. It's the first song that Daisy Jones hops on as a initial song that the Six did, and then she comes on and sings some choruses and maybe a verse on it, and tweaks it, and it upsets Billy Dunn. Anyways, it's the main like crux of the thing, and it has a big resolution at the end. It's really heartfelt, all surrounding this song. And it's in the book, there are specific lyrics that are referenced and are very important to this song. In the show, they changed the song.
Oh, what?
It's a good song. It's a good song that they have in the show, but it's just a different song. So that makes me not want to watch it. Also, it seems like they took some choices when doing the show.
Choices?
No, like they made it more dramatic and make there be more betrayal between characters that goes against what the characters' values are in the book.
The author
So
wouldn't have been...
most adaptations.
Yeah. So the book
Yeah.
was better,
Yeah.
having not watched the TV show.
I'll say this. There are two characters where in the book they're very close to each other, and it's like they have feelings for each other, but they don't want to be together, or they shouldn't be together because they're in one of them's in a like they might be cheating and they almost do, but they don't. But in the show, apparently they do. They like kiss and there's cheating happening. And I'm like, well, that goes against some of the whole point of it in the book is that they get close, but they have their it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I might not watch the show, but the music from the show I listened to immediately after reading this, because I actually listened to it as an audiobook while I was doing my road trip around the US. So also, it's complete the audiobook, which is free on Spotify if you've got Spotify Premium, is
So
voice
not free.
acted. So, well, okay. Look, technically not free, I guess.
Unless someone else pays your Spotify.
Yeah. Reuben and I share a Spotify.
We do.
Because we live in the same house. So like,
a thing
alright,
that they do.
have it slightly cheaper.
I'm always like, they're going to check that. Like,
Yeah.
do they have a Spotify enforcer?
Comes
Gonna
around
knock
your
on
house.
the door one day.
Yeah. Like those TV enforcers. You know how in like in England they have, or Britain, whatever, they have those TV vans that come around to detect if you're using if you're not paying for TV but have it connected or something.
Is that a thing?
You have to have a
What?
TV license over there.
Huh. For like cable TV.
No, for regular
Streaming.
TV. No, like free to air,
Like, yeah.
normal TV.
Like Channel 7 or ABC
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's actually the BBC over there. But anyways, what was I saying?
I walked into that one.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know. No, I do know you were talking about the vans. The enforcer vans.
Well, it's like, have you seen the Zach King thing where they do like the Netflix, like he does a skit where they like come out of the TV and they like come and get him for using someone else's Netflix. It's really
I
funny.
haven't seen that. That sounds real funny.
It's like, I don't know even know what it is.
Well,
It's
going
funny.
straight on my coming up.
So yeah, it's the audiobook is completely voice acted. So every character has their own voice. It also means that I don't know how it's presented in the book. I
I had a question
presume
about
that it always has like the name of the person who's speaking above the paragraph or whatever.
Yeah, so it's not traditional prose, it's only dialogue?
It's only dialogue.
And then I had a follow-up question about the book, but you won't know. Yeah, like, is it written almost like a script? Like, yeah, character name line?
I think so. I think so.
And the final question that's related is it 7 interviews in a chunk, or are they...
No, so they're all intercut.
Yeah.
When listening to the audiobook, they don't always say the name of the person who's talking, which made it very hard for me at the start to be like, who the frick is this? Because eventually, like, it's hard to tell people's voices apart sometimes. They do a pretty good job of making them pretty distinctive, but it's a bit confusing at times. But also really, really good. And it was kind of nice to be driving around hearing this, like, story. Like, people tell me things about their lives, about this very dramatic rock and roll history that is fictional. Yeah. Daisy Jones and the Six, everyone. It's good.
Who's it for?
Who's it for? People who like the show, read the book. Read the book. People who like music and stories about rock and roll stars, like rock stars and fame and, yeah, addiction and love. Like, it is ultimately a love story, but probably not in the traditional way. Like, it is a story that is very much about love, and how that can manifest in different ways in your life. So if that interests you, give it a listen or a read. Yeah, I highly recommend finishing it. Like, even if you've started it, look, if you started it and you are not into it, then you're probably not going to be into it. But I'd recommend finishing it. Yeah.
So, no regrets?
No regrets, Reuben. I don't regret finishing it. What a stupid question.
What a lame question,
What a
right?
stupid question.
What a boring question.
Charlie, what have you finished?
Well, this is a bit awkward because I've also finished a book.
It's not awkward.
Different book.
Terrible.
That was basically a radio play.
That's true. I take it back.
Yeah.
I finished a book called Lessons in Chemistry.
Wham! Re-Bop-Boom-Bam! I'm a killer diller.
Is this
Fascinating.
A textbook?
Okay, here we go.
is this a textbook?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It sounds like a textbook.
No. I'm sure.
Okay.
By Newt Scamander.
So
He's just started like boiling his beasts and stuff
Oh my
to get all together.
God.
Started massacring the big fuck off monster snakes to get their venom so that he can, I don't know,
no monsters.
make bombs for the war. The war's coming. He knows
Which
he,
one?
he needs those rare beast materials. just wringing out one of those what are those real cute ones from the first movie?
No.
All right, you guys keep talking and then I'm going to find out which beast he's wringing
It's
out.
tautology. Okay, great.
Beast.
Okay, so I got this book for my birthday.
Right.
I haven't been
Wait
reading.
a second, that was a while ago. Oh, not that long. Not more than a year. You
He's
have
wringing
not-
out a niffler.
Okay.
No,
Because
just
he
making up words.
Yeah, he needs the gut juices, so he's just
Snape was
It's
actually
real
a nice guy when he was
explosive.
young, but he spent his lifetime wringing out nipples, and that's why he's such a grouch.
All right, sorry, tell us about lessons in chemistry.
So I got this book for my birthday from a good friend of mine, who I hadn't spoken to for a while, and I was like, oh, that's nice, like, I guess. But I was like, oh, so I used to read a lot when I was little, and I have not read much in the past couple of years. This is the first book that I finished, not for an academic purpose.
Lessons in chemistry is the first book you finished, not for an academic purpose. Okay.
If you're looking for more academic stuff, because you can finish that. I mean, I got a prequel history book just around this corner here.
And I have a future prequel history book. It might be right up your alley.
Yours is a future prequel history interview multiple biography radio player,
Yeah, that's
right?
way more sciencey than prequel history.
But is it more sciencey than lessons in chemistry? I doubt it.
So it was so I opened this book and I'm like, okay, that's nice, but I don't really read much anymore. And also chemistry, like nope. Like, yeah. So anyway, it's not about chemistry. Well, it is.
Is this the one that recently got adapted into a TV? Save me. Okay, great.
And it has Brie Larson's in it, but on the poster it doesn't look like Brie Larson.
It does not look like Brie
think
Larson.
so.
I had to squint. So I had to check which... is that not Brie Larson is how I phrased it? You're like,
Yeah.
it is. I was like, okay.
So that one.
That one.
It's about a woman in the 1950s. It's fictional.
Okay.
In the 1950s, fictional 50s. In a studying, like, she's a researcher in a chemistry lab, but she's like the only woman.
Yeah.
There's, some secretaries who are female, and she falls in love with this guy who's like famous and whatever.
Is it like lessons in romantic chemistry? Ooh.
No, because then he dies. So
Oh, damn.
I don't know how.
Is it lessons in mortology chemistry? Ooh.
Embalming. Lessons in embalming.
Hey, you know
Like
what
you gotta
about that?
practice with those nipples. That's why you wrote this.
Fantastic Beasts and how to get rid of their
It
bodies.
was like, I gotta monetize this passion somehow. I'm gonna write a fanfic. Please continue.
Right next to
telling
the
us about
typewriter in the basement of George R.R. Martin is just a big dragon.
it. It's just the two of them working away.
And that's where all of the dragons went. In Game of Thrones, they're buried in George R.R. Martin's basement because he read Fantastic Beasts and how to get rid of them.
So there are no dragons.
Okay, disappointing.
There is a dog.
There's a dog.
There's a dog
That counts as a beast.
who kind of talks, doesn't really talk.
What do you mean the dog talks?
Hang on, what do you
This is
mean
in the
kind of?
50s.
Dog talking is fine. What do you mean kind of?
Okay, the dog doesn't talk, but its thoughts are in italics, so the reader
Okay.
can see what the dog is thinking.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Do dogs
The
think in
chemist.
human language?
This one
Probably
does.
not.
Okay,
This
one does.
dog, named 630, is
Like the
learning
time?
English. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So many questions.
it's, yeah.
You really this is what we're interrupting so much, and I'm really sorry.
But it's because you give me the most interesting details.
Well, I think you want those
We
and
do,
not the
it's
boring
true.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the woman, her name's Elizabeth Zott.
You're like Elizabeth, and I was like, finally, a boring fact that I don't think I'm up for. And then you said Zott, and I was like, hold the phone.
Zott with a double T.
I knew it.
Yeah. It would be weird with a single T.
It would.
So,
It would be strange.
so anyway, she has a dog. She's teaching the dog English. By the end of the book, I think the dog knows 936 words.
Are those the only 936 words that are used in the...
I don't know,
dog
but that
thoughts?
would be an interesting thing to find out.
What?
Is
I
this
don't
that
think so.
dog that's like on TikTok that hits those buttons to speak?
I don't have TikTok.
Enough with your TikTok content.
No.
You're outnumbered this week, so I can actually say that.
No, there's this dog on TikTok, and the people think that it's fake, and it could be. But
A fake thing on TikTok?
it's these buttons that have words on it. So when the dog wants to tell the owner something, it just say it wants a treat. It will go to dog wants treat and hit those buttons, and it will
Not
say
just treat.
dog wants treat. Oh, it could just say treat. As well.
That's what I do. When I want chocolate, I don't say, Jett, I want chocolates. Do you have any? I just go, Jett, we got ice cream.
But then how do you get the chocolate?
No, you just say treat. Treat. We do.
Honestly, at this point, it's descended to the level of, oi, sugar?
So it's not
Hey,
that dog,
mushrooms?
but they're teaching the dog. How does she interpret?
Wait, let's go back to that dog thing. Impressive, but surely it's just knowing where the buttons are. It's not actually reading the word. Do they move the stickers around?
I don't know.
No, I think
it's
it just
like
knows where the buttons is, which impressive, but that's just Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, but how do you think we know words?
What?
How do you think we know what? We know that when we say orange, other people will be like, oh, this other thing.
Yes, but we shift the words around.
Yeah.
Every time I say orange, I don't have to like pull out a little keyboard in front of me and be like, orange.
No,
and
because you
point
know
at the
how
top
to
right.
say it. Dogs don't know how to say it.
Yeah, so it's a very impressive thing that this dog may or may not be doing.
But that's what
it's
humans do. Because the dog, basically, because the dog cannot say the word, the dog hits something that says the word for it.
But
That's
the
what
dog associates hitting that button with getting a treat.
Yeah,
You
just
take
like
the label off
just
and
like
it
how Reuben associates saying chocolate with receiving chocolate.
Yeah, but my intelligence level is below the average human, so I'm not a reasonable
how is
bar
it-
to compare. Because it's not actually processing the word. Dogs can when you say like want to go for a walk and then like jump 3
No,
feet
but they
in the
can
air, that's one
rearrange
thing.
them.
That's why I asked, and you didn't. I said they can't rearrange them, and you stayed silent. Now it's interesting, and now I want to know if it's real or fake. Can you
It'll
tell
be
us about
following up
lessons in
next time.
chemistry?
So anyway, she's working in this lab. She has a child, and out of wedlock because she wasn't married to this guy. Then he dies. No, he dies before she has the child.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, which way out of wedlock?
Which what? Which like before or after?
Yeah, before they're married or after he dies.
Oh.
That's
It's
not out of
It's a
wedlock.
binary. It's either in or out.
What do you mean?
If
Well, you're not
the child was
married.
conceived with the,
It's till death
if
do
they-
us part. If death parts you, you're not married anymore.
Yeah.
they're not married, but the child was still.
That's not wedlock then.
Yeah.
Technically.
No, it's both. So wait.
What?
Wait, the child was conceived before they were married.
They were never married.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah,
Child
that's
out of
the-
wedlock. Wait.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, sorry. Continue. I'm gonna shut
We'll
up
just
now.
say everything twice so that it broadcasts over to the corner there. Because apparently somebody's not quite reaching.
Go. I'll just sit here and drink my salty Red Bull.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's really gross. Talk about some chemistry. Whatever's going on in here.
Not good chemistry.
So, anyway, she's doing stuff. She gets fired because she had a child out of wedlock. So, you know, that's bad and all that. Couldn't possibly happen. She gets fired. Then she gets a job on a TV show. And it's like this other guy needs to fill the time slot. And it's like supposed to be a cooking show. But she just makes it about chemistry. And so she's cooking and she's like saying she doesn't, like, for example, doesn't call salt. She calls it sodium
What
chloride.
you put in Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That white stuff you put in Red Bull.
Her very first
Yeah.
lesson in chemistry was, this is sodium chloride. It never goes in Red Bull, alright? You all clear? 1950s TV watchers?
Yep.
That's the one ground rule of lessons in chemistry.
Yeah, because this is the fictional 50s. The 50s.
So anyway, and she starts educating the average housewife on chemistry, and they all like get out their notebooks, and then someone, I don't know, a lot happens. It's a lot, but it's really interesting.
Did they build a bomb?
No.
I feel like most of the time when people are teaching other people chemistry, this is how to blow stuff up. And also, if you have a
She
bunch
did
of
mention
marginalized...
poisoning people
Oh,
on one of the episodes,
damn.
and then the like producer was like, "Hey, maybe not."
It's
that."
live TV! You
Yeah.
can't stop me!
Yeah, that's kind of a big theme where she's just does whatever she wants.
Did you reckon she killed the guy from earlier?
No, he died because she made him put the dog on a leash because it was a law. And so then the dog like ran off, and then he like got dragged in front of a car or something.
She killed his husband? Wait, hold on.
No,
sorry.
they're not married.
Okay, but
And she doesn't want to be. He wanted to marry her, and she was like, "Nah, we're not getting married. We'll be like,
Go,
I
girl.
want to be." She's like, "I want to be with you as though we were married, but I don't want to get married." I
love
think.
that. Love
Love
that.
it.
So sounds like he was pushing her, and she was like, "Cool."
I'm
We're
gonna strap you to a rabid dog and put you in front of the highway.
No, the dog was their best friend.
Oh,
Did the dog feel
dead?
guilty?
No, the dog didn't die. Yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
dog felt guilty. The dog tried to save him because but the dog couldn't speak English, so he just like
Yeah,
ran.
well.
The dog just like ran into the like I can't remember.
So that would probably go pretty well because like speaking dogs on shows like did she bring the speaking dog on the show at any point?
Yes, the dog. So the okay, so the
Just
dog
taking the
was,
taking the time slot of Bluey.
This one's real.
Hey everyone, we know you love Bluey. Here's this dog that killed a man.
I feel like I'm not selling this book very well.
You are
hard to
selling
sell
it
books.
so much. I cannot
Jet's already
emphasize enough
downloaded the audiobook.
how much you are selling this book.
Was it the dog murder that did it?
I think it was.
Or was it the 1950s feminism? You know, potato.
I think it was a bit when it told you how to poison someone. That was kind of interesting.
But I found myself like reading it, and like you know when you sometimes like you're reading and then you read a word and you're like, and then you keep reading because you can't pronounce it. I felt like I was doing that. a
Oh,
lot.
for the chemistry things.
For the chemistry things, and like I
Yeah.
have a couple friends who are into chemistry, so then I was like, hey, like what's this? And they're like. And I was like, okay, great, wonderful.
Cool, thanks.
Then I don't need to know.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
that's the stuff that you're not meant to put in Red Bull. That's
Oh.
all it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's never going to come up, so I don't need to know that. I have a confession to make. Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until literally today, I thought that Lessons in Chemistry was the same book as that one that's called, like, Forces of Attraction or whatever, that was a Star Wars fanfic.
Oh, the love hypothesis.
Yeah! I thought they were the same thing until today.
Did I tell you that was a
Yeah.
That was a Star Wars fanfic like Wattpad thing.
And then they
There were-
rebranded it to publish it.
There are
But they
so
look
many
very
of
much
them.
like Rey and Kylo Ren on the cover, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I was talking to.
That's why I was so confused when it was pre-last.
I was talking to someone who'd read it. Esther had read it. Friend from Heather's Esther. And so I was talking to her about it. She was like, "Yeah, I've read it." And I was like, "Oh, that's Star Wars fanfic." She's like, "That makes so much sense." The way that they describe him, like the guy, they
waving
describe
swords
him with his like
around.
long black hair and his larger nose and his broad shoulders. Just
It's Adam Driver.
It's Adam Driver. Anyways, yeah. This is not that though.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
If it was that, I wouldn't have read it. Probably.
Probably. Instead, you
Then
gotta-
again, who thought that this would be the first book you read post-school? So
Yeah.
You're just sort of easing out of it. You're just going by books that are fictional but just have names that don't seem like what's
Lessons in
next?
Chemistry. Can we think of another one that sounds like a textbook? We've burned through a lot of those today.
Fire and Blood.
The strictest school in the world. That's a good one.
That doesn't sound like a textbook.
No, that
No,
doesn't
but
sound
it's
like
school related.
Yeah, but
Give
it's
me
not a
that.
Fantastic
textbook.
Beasts.
Right, well, you
Atlantic-
try.
Bury them.
Fantastic Beasts and How to Embalm Them in George R. R. Martin's basement.
How to Train a Dragon. That's a
Ah.
how to. I just
Not
kicked the
bad.
mic again.
Yeah, and then
Not
How to Train a
bad.
Dragon too. How to train it to sit in the grave that you're gonna put it in so that you can make sure it fits. It's a beast. Everything's a beast.
Italian for dummies. So we're just doing textbooks now?
That is a
That's a-
textbook.
Yeah, it's not a school textbook.
Yeah, but
It's
it's still a
still a
I'm
textbook.
sorry, I'm really bad at this.
Brilliant. Who would you recommend this book to? Wait, is there anything more that you want to say about this fantastic book that I think you've sold everyone?
Why is the
on?
dog called 6:30? I have to know.
I can't remember. I think that the dog walked into the lab at 6:30
Okay.
or something like
As long as it
that.
feels like a chemical ratio. That
No,
smells like
no, no.
DOG
It's not.
or something.
It's
like.
not because then when the creature, the child's name is the child is referred
I
to
literally
as
forgot about this kid.
the child is referred to as Mad or Madeline, right?
Okay.
Because when she was born.
Why do you say the creature though?
Oh, sorry. That's what the dog calls her.
Oh,
the
that's
dog
the
calls
best!
it the creature.
The dog
It's
refers
basically
to the child
beast.
as a creature.
It would.
And then when the creature is born, it's like, why is it not called the time that it was born? Why is it called Mad? And the reason it's called Mad is because when she's giving birth and the like nurse or the midwife or whatever is like, hey, like what like, what's going on? She was like, I'm so mad. And that got put on the birth certificate as the name. And she was too embarrassed to tell anyone, so she just named the kid Madeline. Just was like, yeah, mad. It's fine.
I'm going to butcher this story, but did you guys hear about the Australian journalist who, like, wanted to test the naming rules in Australia? And so they named their kid just some ridiculous, unusable thing, and it was, like, let through. And so they accidentally gave their kid this terrible name. I will have to Google it, because I don't remember.
You don't know. Well,
I will Google
There were some
that
pretty
one.
bad names out there.
yeah, there's some really bad ones. Reuben's pretty bad. That's all I have.
Oh, it
That's
was methamphetamine rules. That was the name of the baby.
Does it cost you money to change your name? It must, right?
Must.
I don't know, but I have someone I can ask. Not I was talking.
Not them.
No, I was talking to someone the other day.
Ah.
Changed their name.
Did they call at least 2 other people afterwards?
No, I saw them in person.
Failure. Oh, disappointing. what can
Also
you do?
someone you know.
Okay, I believe it. Bad
Yeah.
name. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some guesses.
Who? Wait. So I had a question
Nice.
about the dog, but now I can't remember what it was.
The dog calls the kid creature? The
No.
dog's still at 6:30.
So why
Language.
the dog is on the show, but the dog?
The dog doesn't talk, but she'll be like,
How much of the...
remember.
Sorry,
What?
answer that question first.
How much of the book?
How much of the book is shot is like is her doing the TV show?
Ignore my
Like-
question about the dog. It doesn't matter.
Because that's what like the promo shots for the
TV.
TV show are.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens first.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens first and a bunch of other stuff that happens after. So, not heaps after, but I mean, it's a pretty big chunk of it. But I would argue that it's not the main selling point of the book.
Really? What would you have called the TV show?
What is it called?
Or Lessons in Chemistry, but it sounds like you think it like
No,
that's
like-
not the main just name it after the book.
Yeah, I don't believe in this changing the thing. Right?
Yeah,
Thank
I remember
you.
having this
Like,
term
they
in
should be the
book.
same thing so that people know, oh, that's the same thing.
Should call it
Exactly.
Lava and Blood or whatever Jett said earlier. That will get people watching.
Yeah, they'll watch like the first 5 minutes and be
Yeah.
like, I regret starting this.
Yeah, and then Apple TV can be like 14 million people watch this on opening whatever or whatever.
Should be called Dog
That number was
Murderer,
way too low.
but not in the
Yes.
way that you think.
Really small text, the big capital dog. Really small text is a murderer.
Who would you recommend this book to?
I would recommend this book to anyone who is willing to like get through the first like bit.
Oh,
You know,
the
like-
backhand recommendation. It's
No,
just
like-
season 3 is great.
Okay,
you know?
to be fair, I don't remember the first 3 chapters because you know when you like read something and you just don't process any of it until you know enough about it to be able to
Everything
process
that I
it.
read. Everything that
Yeah.
I read.
So you have to be able to get through that. But I guess that's just every book. So
Yeah.
maybe just people who like books. Also feminism, like it's great to see like
But chemistry not that important.
No, you don't need to know anything about chemistry.
Do you
I
think?
certainly don't.
Do you think people who enjoy chemistry would enjoy this book more?
You're asking the wrong person.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
It sounds like you have friends who enjoy chemistry but aren't very good at it. Because you're like, yo, what's this? Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, but that's because I was like, oh, what's she studying? She was writing like a PhD, but she couldn't get her PhD because she was raped or something. And
Wild.
That's also very dramatic. Okay.
yeah, there's a fair.
How did this
few
not come up
things.
earlier?
It's not super significant.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
Really?
it's like part of it. Like yeah.
All right. I guess if I was to
There's
describe
so much
Legally
that
Blonde,
happens
like
in-
that wouldn't be one of the top 10 things I brought
Yeah.
up. So
That's
makes sense.
so much happens in this book.
Most people that I know who have done chemistry aren't very good at it, so I understand that.
Everyone I know who did chemistry dropped it. Nah, that can't be true, but a lot.
I brought this
It's like
up
a
a lot,
disproportionate number.
but in high school, I had to do my maths class in the chemistry class because my timetable didn't line up. So, because the maths teacher was also the chemistry teacher. So, when the students had to do something, she would come over and help me with maths. but it also meant that I got to observe everything that was going on in the chemistry class. And every time they did Kahoot quizzes often on what they were learning in chemistry. And because I was in the class, I mean, I joined the Kahoot quizzes, obviously.
Were you roughly on par?
I was on average kind of doing better than most people. And I was just guessing based on the colours. Like, people are bad at chemistry. I don't know, what does chemistry qualify you to be?
Like chemist.
Chemistry teacher.
Oh, no.
Wow, that's a very different qualification.
I was just going with what does insert high school subject qualify you to do? Teach high school
Well,
subject.
it doesn't qualify you.
I mean, no, you still have to do 4 to 5 years at uni to be qualified.
I mean, there's anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But yeah, I don't trust whatever people who study chemistry become.
They
become
become embalmers.
Embalmers.
Yeah. What do you think Newt Scamander studied? Bio and chem.
Jesus.
Madman.
Do you regret starting this?
Well, I finished
I mean,
it, so
finishing.
apparently not.
Do you regret finishing it?
No, I don't. I'm very glad that I finished it.
That's good. I'm glad that you finished it too, because it meant you could tell us about it on this podcast. Time for our next section.
Time for our next section. Do you want to cue the next section? Who wants to cue the next section?
You do.
I do?
I think so.
It's time for Up and Up.
Every time I'm bringing it up, I'm talking about up and up.
Not the theme song.
Excellent. Up and
Like I
up.
wasted that. Like we spent all that time building it up, and I could have done like 1920s radio announcer, or like, I don't know, another character bit. But I just went, here it is.
Up and up. This is the section where we talk about the things that we have coming up and following up on any previous things. Reuben, you can start us off.
Well, welcome back to the 1920s racing carnival.
Are you
where we're
like
doing
a-
up and I just felt really like I needed to make it up.
Racing
So-
carnival that
I
sounds like
as
vaguely
soon as
New
I
York
started
Italian.
radio, I could only think, I don't know, horse racing. So
That's the only thing on the radio, not like
that's the
traffic
only
updates.
thing. Where I think it was because
Yeah, you could have done a traffic update.
I could have done a traffic. This is
This
the
is
last. I
me with
missed
traffic
an
and
opportunity.
transport.
I'm so disappointed. I've let myself and the team down, quite frankly. This is the last episode to do traffic, and I teed myself up for traffic, and I dropped the ball. And for that, I'm doubly sorry.
What have you got coming up, Reuben? Stop complaining and just get on
The
with
thing
the
that I have
podcast.
coming up requires a little bit of backstory.
Oh my god.
I have a friend who I like to go to the movies with. We watch a fair few movies, and some of them are good, and some of them are bad, and we love taking a risk. We love taking a gamble, and one of us goes, hey, you want to see this? And the other one goes, never heard of it, sure. So we're going to do a Napoleon and Wonka double bill. Because they both look not great, probably.
Now I was offered to go to see this with you guys. And I said, absolutely, but fuck no. There's no way I'm seeing 2 movies that I'm kind of interested in.
I also
actually.
said, do you want to come to just one? I wasn't even going to watch Napoleon until you said, that looks pretty interesting, actually. And I went, Jett's going to watch Napoleon?
No.
Okay.
So I was going to watch Napoleon, and then I heard some people talking about Napoleon, mainly complaining about the fact that Napoleon's wife is incredibly young in the film, and like the actress is young and is portrayed as young when in fact she was quite a bit older than Napoleon. She was in her late 40s or 50s, and a big crux of the relationship was she couldn't have children, so she couldn't continue their lineage because she was old. Like she was, had gone through menopause, I guess, or was during. Like doesn't matter. She couldn't have babies, and people were like, you're too old, you can't have a baby. And that was a big thing. In this film, it is a young woman who is like pretty, like youthfully attractive, and people just refer to it like, it's too late for you to have kids, I guess. But they don't refer to it much, even though it was a very large.
Yeah, you're 28. You missed your chance.
Yeah, they're like
Clock's ticking.
They're like, oh, too bad you can't continue this lineage because of that thing. Just because I guess they wanted to cut, like it.
I mean, Vanessa Kirby is great, but also like cast people who are reflective of the historical characters. Like,
Yes.
Come
Yeah,
on.
in some regards.
Yes.
If it's pivotal to their
Yes.
character, yes.
Yes.
if you're doing a race swap or whatever, like, or
whatever.
just like doing it, casting blindly in that regard, like that, yeah, go for
But
it.
also
But-
give older female actors more roles, because
Yeah.
every time they do one, we're like, wow, that was amazing.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, Michelle Yeoh or Olivia Colman or whatever, and then
Frances
people just
McDormand.
yep,
Yeah.
Viola Davis, and then people just like forget to do it the next time. It's like, why'd you stop?
Mhm.
These are some of the best actors we have.
And then I will also say, I did say no to seeing Wonka as well, even though that intrigued me somewhat.
I think it's gonna be.
Now, so I said no, I won't see it. But then I was reminded,
The Hugh Laurie is an Oompa Loompa?
no,
No, is that fine? Or we
That's
just giving
Hugh
that a
Grant.
cultural part? What did I say?
Hugh Laurie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who that is. That I was reminded that it's a musical. Now, you wouldn't know this from any of the trailers or the promotional material, but it is a musical.
To be fair, Songbirds and Snakes also a secret musical.
Also, the new Legally Blonde. Not Legally Blonde. Sorry, I just have Legally Blonde. Mean Girls. Also a secret musical.
Oh,
It's
I did know that one.
Right?
Very excited.
I cannot wait. But on the trailers and everything, do not say, hey, this is a musical. Doesn't have a song, might have a clip of people dancing. People are like, oh, is that a musical? Yes, it is. But they're not presenting. It seems like Hollywood's really scared of promoting things that are musicals at the moment, for whatever reason. So because I was reminded that Wonka is a musical, I would be intrigued in seeing it, but I still probably won't go.
Great, cool.
Sorry, I just took over your coming up and just explained why I won't be seeing
That's
either
fine.
of those. Did you have anything else?
I have a following up. I have
Yeah,
nothing
go
else to
for
say about Napoleon and Wonka. I haven't seen them yet.
Are you going to see Napoleon or Wonka, Charlie?
I didn't know that. No, actually, okay, I have seen some part of a trailer of Wonka.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
at some point. But I didn't know
So
it was
no.
a musical. Well,
Why would you? How could
well,
you?
now that I know that it's a musical,
Oh,
I'm
yep.
more interested.
Here's a little tip to find out if a new movie coming out is a musical. If it says, also The Color Purple, The Color Purple, that's also...
They're doing The Color Purple?
Yeah.
I love The Color Purple.
It's also going to be a musical. So, every
Really
time
good book.
that
Also
they...
musical.
Yes. If they're marketing
Better
a
than
film...
Red Bull, though?
What?
Better than Red Bull? The Color Purple?
Well, that's why I have Purple Edition.
Yeah, I know, but you said if it's bad, but maybe that's like it's hard to.
Well, it's because
Hard
it's
to know.
Asai.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Which Charlie famously hates, so I'm gonna get onto that bandwagon.
I feel left out. Can I hate it too?
No,
Oh,
not allowed.
Do I have to be the eternal champion of it?
If a film is being promoted as a bold new take on a classic or something like that, it means it's a musical. If it's
I feel like it could also mean other things, but I
no. If it's being at the moment, if the poster says something like a bold new take or a new representation or a new, I don't know, a
Also,
daring
but what about
Charlie and the
iteration.
Chocolate
It
Factory
is
is
a
a
musical.
musical.
What?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a musical, Mean Girls is a musical, and The Color Purple is also a musical.
Yes. However, these films are not being marketed as musicals. They don't have any music in the thing. Also, the new Mean Girls, yes, it is a musical, but the Mean Girls 1 and 2, like the movies are not musicals. So it seems like this is just a newer version of the original movie for most people who have seen the trailer. Yeah.
As opposed to a movie of the musical?
Yes. Yeah. It just looks.
That's
It
that's
just
the way
looks
it's
like
being
they-
marketed.
Yeah. It just looks like they're doing a. Hey, we're doing another. Why can't I think of a movie studio doing a new? We're doing a new RoboCop. I don't know why that's
New
the first.
Parent Trap.
A new Parent
New
Trap.
Parent Trap.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, look out for a bold new take on a poster near you and be like, ooh, time for me to see a musical. What's your following up, Reuben?
My following up is that
What are you
Charlie
looking
is
at
in
me?
the Addams Family.
Oh, what?
And that feels relevant.
What?
Because that was such an early episode.
Oh my
So
god!
this feels full circle.
You didn't want to bring this up earlier?
No, I wanted to save it for this moment.
I don't know what to say. That's so exciting. I mean, I heard so much, I think, about the Addams Family.
You've forgotten everything I
I've
told you.
forgotten
Don't lie to
literally
me.
everything. Who did you play in the Addams Family?
I was Wednesday.
You're Wednesday. Who's
Jenna
Thursday?
Ortega herself.
I have a doll that I named Thursday. My grandmother
Damn it, you had an
crocheted
answer
me.
to that.
She crocheted me a doll, like off Wednesday, but I named her Thursday because I thought that would be more fun.
That's really good.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
That's
There's
really
a photo
good.
of us. It's like, I'm Wednesday and this is Thursday.
That's
great.
That's good.
Now, who's Tuesday?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
Perfect. Excellent.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's so fun. Nice following up. That's a good
Thank
following up.
you.
Because I can't remember anything about it. I don't really have any follow-up questions for that, but that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Nice surprise.
What was your favourite line or song?
Favorite line or song?
Those are
So
two
long
very
ago.
different things.
Yeah, well, like
There
What's
was
your
some-
favorite picture or movie?
do you regret doing the Addams Family?
No. It was great.
Yeah, that's a better question, isn't it?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Got an interesting answer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I know.
There were some really good lines though. Now I can't. Oh, there is a line about Thursday in the show. There's a song called that's not in the version that we did, but there's a song called Wednesdays Growing Up. And they're like Wednesdays. There's a line like Wednesdays growing up. She'll be Thursday before you know it.
I feel like
From
that.
that line was in it,
The
but
line
the song
was
was
not
not
the
in
song. Okay, because that was a good line. What was the line immediately before you said petting zoo? Because it was so funny.
it.
I can
Oh
never
yeah.
remember the setup.
There's a.
Sorry, I've just spoiled the punchline.
I come in with like a goose. Sorry, goose. It
Don't panic.
with an arrow through it, and I'm like, Mum, Dad, I brought dinner. And they're like, oh, that's wonderful. Where'd you find it? In the petting zoo.
That's really good.
good.
That's really funny.
That's really good.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So.
How realistic was the goose?
Okay, there were 2 geese.
Was it a real goose?
No.
You're like, oh,
But
this
we
is a
did have real
fantastic
dogs
beast. I
in
can't
Legally
wait to kill
Blonde.
it.
What?
We did have real dogs in Legally Blonde.
Yeah. You
gotta-
gotta have real dogs.
Gotta
in
have
Legally
real
Blonde.
dogs.
Yeah. But
Real
no real
dog of a
goose.
dog.
There was a goose, and then I was like, this does not look like a goose. And so I made the props department get a... Not really. They were like, you're right, it doesn't look like a goose. So they got a new one.
Dude,
She
that is...
slept through that entire thing. She's been on the floor for this podcast. I thought when you said her name, she would perk up. Nothing.
Wow.
Eyes shut.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Sometimes, you know, when I was doing Heathers, we had a cross for the Dead Gay Son scene.
It's
and
right here.
So I
was wondering about that.
You're wondering about the cross hung on our
the
banister?
big wooden cross, like church cross. Yeah.
What's there to know?
So yeah, the cross that we had for a while wasn't great. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to Bunnings. I'm literally getting some planks of wood, nailing them together, and making a cross. And I made a pretty nice cross, and it hangs right here in our podcast closet. I'm so glad that was right there to reference. I completely
Yeah,
forgot that.
for all the listeners.
For all the listeners to
Yeah,
see.
in this audio medium.
Okay. Do you
Was
want me
that
to...
all still... No, that was yours. God, I was like...
that was-
How long
No,
have we been doing...
that
Is that
was
all
all
still
yours.
my up and up?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you want to hear my up and
Enough
up?
of this, please.
Okay, my coming up is... I don't know.
Great, Charlie, up and up.
Coming up, I don't know. Following up, I did have following up on Spelling Bee.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Here we go.
That's when you looked at me before. I thought you were gonna say
No.
that because I messaged you.
You did.
Okay, no. So
Charlie
a
said, should
couple
I
of years-
mail or should I wait till I'm on the pod? I said, probably best if you wait till you're on the pod.
so a couple of years ago, we were like we needed to do a play at school, and we were like, hey, like let's do a musical, but there were only like 4 of us, but we could potentially rope in another like 5 or 6 people. So we're like, let's do Spelling Bee. And
Yeah.
I was like, what's Spelling Bee? So anyway, I did some research and whatever. And yeah, and then it's kept popping up since. It was in Melbourne.
Was
like
it?
yeah, in October.
What?
There was a production of it by Salt Pillar Theatre Company.
That's so recently.
Yeah.
That's
You
so...
were doing Heathers. You were
I was
flat
doing
out.
Heathers.
Yeah. I didn't see it because I don't know, but I knew a few people in it,
Oh,
and I
good.
knew the music director. He was the person who did Addams Family, and
It's all
also
connected.
Legally Blonde. I think.
We gotta get Daisy Jones and the 6 in here. It's all connected. There's gotta be someone at the center of this web of deceit.
I don't like
Yeah,
this Daisy
I
Jones and
know.
the Six Detectives bit that I'm not a part of because I'm just
You
not
chose
found
to
my way
accept.
in.
You can join us anytime.
No, I'm good.
But then
I
it would be
think-
Daisy Jones and the 7, and that would be wrong. So you can actually.
Are you guys
I'm
part
so
of the
sorry.
6?
I couldn't possibly
No.
say.
No.
Wink. No.
Absolutely not. So my coming up is I have a physical coming up.
Oh my god.
That's for you.
This is unprecedented.
So,
so-
I as I mentioned, I saw a friend of
Is
ours,
this mail?
This is mail. This is a real envelope.
and we were discussing the fact that I was gonna potentially be here at some point.
Just because we haven't done mail for so long, you've
and-
given us snail mail that we have to open.
And we didn't know, where to like mail it, so we just put their email address.
Just says stinishedit@gmail.com.
On this physical bit of mail. This
Yeah.
is the best day of
To
my
the
life.
hosts and Goose.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah. So you have to open it now.
Okay.
Wait, right now or should we wait for the mail section?
right now.
Okay.
Okay, right now. That was a really cunning plan, because if you'd said wait for the mail section, something might have happened to the mail section, who knows?
I think
doesn't
we've-
seem to happen very much. Am I going to open half of this?
What do you
open
mean?
it, you pull it out? What are we
Yeah,
doing here?
sure. I'll read it out. You open it. I'll
You
read
weren't
it.
listening to anything and you bumped that wall.
I was,
Against the rules.
I was listening.
Quick, list something.
Yeah,
Quick.
you're number 1. You're gonna open it. Number 2, I'm gonna read it out.
Great. Okay, I'm glad.
Oh,
I'm taking a ridiculous amount of care opening this envelope.
You are.
Because we might want to recreate it as a, I don't know, like maybe we want a photo of it or whatever.
Reuben, just open the envelope so I can
tear
read
the
it out.
envelope.
You take.
I mean, I can recreate it for you. I have more envelopes.
Excellent, thank you.
That would be
Awesome.
silly.
Oh my god. Okay, so would you like to know what
Is it a blank piece of paper? Because so far all I've seen is a blank piece of paper
So-
come out of a blue envelope.
What it says is it just says all in bold in blue pen with 2 capitals at the end and 2 underlines. Read your mail. I think this is a good indication that we should read our mail, Reuben.
That's a great point. We should read our mail. However, this is the longest episode we've ever done.
Is it?
And yesterday when we recorded, I did promise mail next week, not next episode. So I'm going to hold to that and say mail next week.
I'm so sorry, Charlie. I think we need to do mail next week. I mean, can we can't do mail
We
today?
can't do mail today. Mail's not ready today.
Okay.
Because we agreed to do it next week.
Okay, technically we have read some mail.
We have done mail. That was the segment.
that
You got
was-
mail.
I'm sorry, Azrin. I tried.
We will do mail next week. I swear.
We actually will.
We actually
Mail
will.
first up next week. Hot take.
We'll figure it out.
Mail first up next week.
Yeah.
Because then I won't find some excuse to not do mail.
At this point, Reuben, like we're literally getting people who listen to the show hand delivering us mail.
That's all we've always wanted. That's all we asked for in the first few
That's
episodes.
what I left in the car. I took it back and guess what?
Oh my god.
We said, here's our email address or knock on the door. To this day, episode 20, no one has come with mail.
Now someone has come with.
I
Oh my
came with
god.
mail.
This is.
Great. Jet, what's your up and up?
Okay,
Gonna
my
wrap this
coming
baby
up-
up and up.
My coming up is doing mail next week. Also, it will be. I wanna start playing the video game Jedi Survivor because Reuben bought it.
Oh, who's to say if
and
I bought it?
Reuben finally caved and I finally, need to play
caved.
it. So, that's my coming up, and my following up, I don't have one. So that is the end of this episode
Phew,
of
well done,
Stinished It.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Charlie, so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate
We
it.
do.
Thank you for
Very few people are crazy enough to accept. So-
thank you for bringing us some mail. Even I would have been happy to do mail this week. I want you to know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Reuben is relentless.
I
in pushing
promise
back
mail next week, not mail tomorrow.
Yeah, but
But for the listeners, this is next week.
Well, that's for them. That's for them to know and me to find out.
okay. Thank you.
Mail next week.
Just
mail first up next week. What more do you want from me? To do it now? Pfft, no.
Thank you to Hetty Moysey for our lovely, lovely, lovely podcast art. If you want to get in touch with us and send in mail, send an email to stinishedit@gmail.com. You can even write it on a nice blue letter and hand deliver it to us. But I think it has to say stinishedit@gmail.com.
Yeah, otherwise we will not open it.
Write us a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. We'll also read that out. I think that's it. Reuben, you're looking at me like you don't know how to do that. Figure out how to do that by next week.
Okay, we'll do.
Excellent.
I'm writing it down right now.
Write it down right now. Do it.
Actually, all I'm doing is I've had mail in bold with a question mark there for about 8 weeks. So what I'm just going to do is take away the question mark and replace it with an exclamation mark. And that will remind me that I need to prep the mail.
Excellent. All right. Brilliant.
So what you're saying is that you haven't prepped the mail, but you pretended that you prepped the
No,
mail. And
every time I've said it's prepped, it has been. This episode and last episode, when I said it's actually not ready, it hasn't been prepped.
Ridiculous, right?
That's why I said next week mail. I'm not going to promise something I can't fulfill.
All right. What you do is by next week you prep the mail, but I'm going to be busy because I need to go hunt and embalm some beasts. So I'll go do that. I'll see you later.
Meet here, same time, same place.
Perfect. Awesome.